Canadians and Americans work really well together,
Mm.
especially when you have the equipment, which was American equipment. Canadian know-how. We're a little better trained than you Yankees. So I hate to tell you that. We ate seals for breakfast up here. The British system, as you mentioned, is DefendU, which is British. Us being Canadians, we can't call it DefendU because it's a bunch of pommies. So we call it Defendo, which is, is a Latin word, which means to protect. So,
okay.
So basically, the similarities, there's some similarities. O'Neill was much more a younger martial artist than Fairbairn by about 20 years. Fairburn's training in SOE commando, especially in SOE, was more about escape and evasion than closing with and closing and killing the enemy and fighting through an objective type of thing, which a commando unit would have to do, like the 1st Special Service Force. Fairbairn stuff was all about assassination as well, taking out sentries and stuff like that, which Guillotois himself had done, killed Germans at knife point. O'Neill in 42 was brought in to teach the 1st Special Service Force, which I don't know if your viewers know, it was half Canadian, half American commando unit, 2,500 strong. Churchill said it was the most feared commando unit in World War II, mainly because Canadians and Americans work really well together, especially when you have the equipment, which was American equipment. Canadian know-how. We're a little better trained than you Yankees. So I hate to tell you that. We ate seals for breakfast up here. So stuff like that. So anyway, O'Neill was a consummate fighter. He loved Irishman too, by the way. He loved to fight. But he, you can imagine you being a martial artist, all of a sudden you're brought into a unit and the general in charge, Frederick, says, okay, you have to train 2,500 men to jump into Norway and kill Germans. So all of a sudden, well, where do you start? So he started, his route was boxing, because everybody had done boxing back then. Martial arts, as you pretty, like when I did martial arts in the 60s, nobody knew what they were. Go back a few 20 years before that, same. So boxing was the core. Everybody done some boxing. So he added on to boxing some basic jiu-jitsu, a lot of knife fighting, because you put a knife in the hand of a boxer, you got a pretty good knife fighter. So his system was very aggressive. You had to close with the enemy, fight through the objective, kill, move on, kill, move on. So that's the type of training they did. To this day, the 1st Special Service Force is still the keynote unit for hand-to-hand combat. The British Commandos are famous. Other units, SOE, but the 1st Special Service Force is the benchmark for what we're talking about.